Hi guys, welcome to Make 2 and an episode of Fallout Shelter. For those of you who don't know this game, it's a mobile game. You can play it on Android and iOS devices. Don't know about any others. We actually did a few episodes of this game back in the day when it first was released, and there's been some footage out of E3, which is a gaming convention, about some really exciting updates coming to the game, and so I figured I would go back and play it, and I opened up I think I'd switched devices since those first few episodes, and I basically lost my game that I had spent so much time on. So I restarted a new vault. This is a vault, by the way, for those of you who don't know what a vault is. Basically a place where all these survivors of a nuclear apocalypse kind of eke out their lives surviving as best as possible underground. That's why it's called a vault. Anyway, so yeah, I switched devices since doing those original episodes and then lost the game when I moved to a new device. And so I decided to start a new one, and I did pretty well. Got up to 60 plus dwellers. You can see in the upper left hand corner, this is the number of dwellers you have. I have 56, and I got up to 60 plus, and I didn't know that in the time since I'd originally played the game, they'd introduced these things called deathclaws. I'm going to show some footage of the game that I restarted, and you can see that the deathclaws are crazy. They go through and they kill the heck out of your vault. All the dwellers who are just minding their own business, doing their work and trying to repopulate and all of that, they just get decimated by these deathclaws. And so I looked up some tips for the game and ways to ideally set up your vault to guard against deathclaw attacks, which, by the way, are triggered once you reach a certain number of dwellers, and I think that number is 60 according to all conventional wisdom. So I then said, the original vault that I restarted was basically not good enough to fight against deathclaws or to reconfigure to fight against deathclaws without spending a ton of the game currency, which is at the top right-hand corner here. These are called caps. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to start a third vault, and this time make sure that I've done at least, if not the best possible things to defend against deathclaws and whatnot, at least better than I had done previously. So this is my vault setup here. As you can see, this is the vault entrance. This is fully upgraded, which is kind of one of the main things you want to do to begin with. Oh, did you hear that noise? That is the little dude, the mysterious stranger, who gives you game currency if you manage to find him in good time, and I hardly ever do because my vault is way too big. Hopefully at some point in this episode we will find him. You only get a few seconds to find him, and as you can see, I have some rooms dark because they're not getting enough power. The power meter is up here in the red, and that's because I haven't opened the game in a few hours and I have too many rooms to keep up with all the power stuff. There is a reason that I've got my vault set up this way. This is one of the four power stations I have. I'm gonna show you that first of all, there's a regular power generator, and then there's the, as you scroll through, nuclear reactor here, which is an even better power generator and could probably do better powering my entire vault, but it requires 60 dwellers, and as I said previously, 60 is sort of the trigger point for these crazy deathclaws, and so before I get up to 60 and unlock the ability to get a nuclear reactor, I also just want to make sure that I've got the best defenses that I can possibly get. Now, in the original 5 episodes that we did on the channel, I had 2 dwellers patrolling this vault door against attacks, so here we go. We've got a radroach infestation. Normally they can take care of that pretty well without me supervising. Yeah, see? Done in seconds. Beautiful. In the original few episodes, I strategized with a couple of dwellers just being on patrol here all the time to guard against raiders, who are a sort of not as deadly version of attacks. So they're not as bad as deathclaws. They're just basically people who come in from out here trying to attack the vault and get inside. And if you're a good and smart player, you'll usually have 2 dwellers patrolling in here. For instance, this guy and this guy. These 2 are my top weaponed people. Their weapons are enhanced miniguns with 19 to 21 power apiece. These were lucky things that I got from lunchboxes and Wasteland explorations and things like that. And so yeah, the smart player will usually have 2 dwellers just patrolling here all the time because they'll be the first line of defense against attackers like raiders and deathclaws. But as you can see, I need people working in the power plants in order to generate more power to get out of the red here and get these rooms lit up. So I've just basically made an executive decision to not have dwellers patrolling in the vault, but just whenever I have raiders attacking, I'll just drag them over because since I have a fully upgraded vault door, I have plenty of time to do that. A fully upgraded vault door means that it takes raiders and deathclaws a little bit longer to get inside, and that gives you time to set up your dwellers in the appropriate places. Okay, so as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, I've got a prize. This is from completing objectives. I collected 30 stim packs. The prize for doing that is, I think this is a Mr. Handy box, which is a type of robot that was added to the game. Sorry, the mysterious stranger has arrived again. I'm just going to try and find him. The Mr. Handy robot was added to the game in a time when I was not playing. There we go. There he is. Pesky, pesky dude. And apparently it's a thing that automatically... Ooh, I just collected it. Okay, yeah, it's a thing that collects resources so that you yourself, the player, don't have to go through and tap away and things like that. And I also have, by the way, a lunchbox. And so we're just going to see those 2 things in action because I've been waiting a really long time to get a Mr. Handy. And first we've got a lunchbox to unlock. These come with special prizes. Okay. 100 caps, which again are the currency of the game. Wonder glue, which is a thing you can use to craft weapons for your dwellers. And I've received a weapon of 3 points, which is kind of useless to me, as you will see going forward. 50 food, again kind of useless. Excellent! Basically, any weapon with double-digit power, this has 13 to 15, to me is a good thing. So, yeah, let's see what we get with the Mr. Handy box. Haha! How cute! Always a pleasure to serve you. Only one, though. Alright, so where is he? Where's Mr. Handy? Ah, there he is. How cute! So you just kind of drag him in, and apparently, after reading some guidance online, basically, whatever floor you put him on, he will kind of provide some mild defenses against attacks. He'll automatically collect resources so that you don't have to. So I think kind of putting him on a floor with power and also stim packs is probably good enough for now because, as I said, I'm gonna want power to be constantly collected and generated so that I can stay as much in the green as possible. Look at him. Just floating around. Live to serve, serve to live. I'm just tapping on him. He's on. And it looks like his health bar is full, so that's good, I guess. Does he actually go up and down? No. Looks like, yeah, he stays on one floor. Cool. And now I'm going to assign that weapon that I just got. Basically, everybody on the top floor, because that is where the entrance to the vault is, has to be the strongest and the most well-equipped. So as I pointed out previously, these guys, they each have 19 to 21. This guy has a weapon of 14 to 17, which is pretty good. And this lady here has a 17. This guy has a 9 to 12. So we'll just go ahead and replace that with a 13 to 15. And this one has a 9 to 10, so let's go ahead and replace that with 9 to 12 that we just took away. And, ooh, let's see. Does Mr. Handy collect that power? Does he? Yes, he does. I didn't touch that, guys. That was Mr. Handy. Excellent. So that is really helpful. And here's the mysterious stranger again. That's a lot of money. 4865. Nice. I love when he gives thousands of caps. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is assigning weapons to people because it just sort of appeals to my, like, anal retentive nature of making sure that people have, I don't know, the maximum things. I'm not the best at this game, I'm just gonna say, like, I don't do all the math and strategizing that other people have spent many hours writing up guides and things like that for, but I kind of just have my style of playing. And for instance, I posted on Instagram a picture of my vault at an earlier stage and was like, this really appeals to my OCD tendencies, and this is how. So basically, I've got in the center column of the vault all of my resources, which are, as we go across the meters, power and food and water. Up here is power, directly below is food, directly below that is water, then we have power again, food, water, power, and if I keep expanding the vault, it's going to just be that same all the way down. And then on the right here is where we get all the stim packs, which I mentioned earlier. These people are generating these things. Hi, Mr. Handy. You'll see I've got 125 and 45 in the lower right-hand corner. These are stim packs and radaways, and oh, press that when I didn't need to. I gotta get used to Mr. Handy being there and doing that for me. And yeah, so the stim packs are what you give your dwellers to make them recover from injury. For instance, this guy is fighting rad roaches, and if he takes a while, you'll see the green bar at the top is starting to go down. That means he's losing health defending against this attack. A stim pack will give him a boost of health. Usually when they get to about halfway through, I give him a stim pack, which I've got 125 of there, and so that brings his health right back up. So those are good things to have. So that is why I have a whole column on the right of Stimpak's production facilities, as you can see. There's 3, and then in the middle here is for producing radaways, which are useful for dwellers who go out into the wasteland exploring and get exposed to radiation. And then I have another 3. Oh, I need to upgrade that one. Oh, by the way, I have a cat. Another thing added to the game in the time that I stopped playing were pets. I've only gotten 1 pet overall. I don't seem to have very good luck with getting pets as prizes for things. I think it's random, or maybe you can buy them. I haven't paid any money to play this game just yet. I've done everything free. But this pet supposedly... He meowed. That was cute. This pet supposedly increases the chance of seeing that mysterious stranger who just gave me 4,865 caps. It increases the chances of seeing that mysterious stranger by like 2.5 or something. So that was a good find. I would love to get more pets, but this game just doesn't seem to want to give me more pets. It looks like Mr. Handy sort of takes his sweet time collecting the resources, but what can you do? I think he collected the stim pack that this person just generated. Yeah, because it's gone back to 33 minutes to produce. Anyway, yeah, I was going to upgrade this. Produces an extra 3, doesn't increase your storage. In order to increase your storage to greater than the 125 max here, I would need to build more of these rooms, but at the moment I am kind of maxed out with dwellers staffing the rooms in the ways that I want them to. So I'm not going to be building a ton of rooms at the moment. Just going to wait on getting my dwellers up to 60, as mentioned before. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that I am properly equipped and all of that. Now, a couple of things. I've got dwellers out in the wasteland collecting stuff. I generally try to have 5 dwellers out in the wasteland, and I'll send them out with like the max number of stim packs, which is 25, and then they'll usually be able to stay out for 24 hours or more, and the longer they stay out, the more stuff they collect. So I'm going to be seeing some of that when they come back in. The problem, of course, with sending them out for a long time is that they then take a long time to come back. They take half as long to come back as they took being out. So for instance, this guy still has 8 hours and 43 minutes to come back to the vault, and that's because I sent him out for over 16 hours. Yeah, and this guy has 9 hours and 21 minutes to come back. So yeah, that is where my vault is now. The next things that I'm probably going to try and do are build some of the improvement rooms where dwellers can go to increase their strength. Things like the weight room, they increase their strength, athletics room, agility. These are qualities that I guess help them do better at the different types of rooms, power, water, food, making stim packs and stuff like that. But right now I've been mostly focusing on just boosting people with outfits. You can boost their levels in each skill with outfits. At some point I will build the training rooms and stuff like that to increase them naturally without having to worry about outfits, but I've just for now been focusing on just organizing my vault and making money and waiting patiently for a handy robot and pets and better weapons. That is the state of my vault now, but I think before the next update drops, I'm going to do my best to introduce things like the training rooms and get the 60 dwellers and the nuclear power plant. But for now, just wanted to introduce you guys to what I've got so far. Please let me know in the comments what you think, and if you are playing this game as well, feel free to let me know any tips you've learned in the time since I last played, because I'm sure I'm missing a lot, although I am trying to do research, obviously, for the best things as well. But in the meantime, if you haven't tried this game, I recommend it. It's pretty easy to play. You just kind of tap things and wait for things, and you can be watching TV and playing this game, and it's pretty low stress until those deathclaws attack, obviously. But yeah, I think we'd like to record more episodes, especially when the new update comes out, which is supposed to be at some point this month. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.